What is up, YouTube? Got a big night tonight. We are stripping Jimmy's cab off of his chassis and putting his new cab on, his second gen. Right now he's over just pulling the wiper motor and a few pieces of wiring harness so we can get the cab off. Once the cab's off, we got to paint the top of the frame rails quick and replace this front fuel tank strap. So a couple quick little things there. While he's working away, I'm going to go over a couple little things. Hopefully they're useful for people out there. Don't mind all the grease on my face. It's been hectic with Detroits. So right here we got a Detroit Series 60, and what I want to just mention is about valve adjustments. I've worked with a lot of people on motor work. I've had a lot of chances to talk to old timers that did things different ways, and the consensus I found from people who are good is about your valve lash. Now, the reason I'm saying this is you could have your spec on this Detroit, which is 26 thousandths on the exhaust and 8 thousandths on the intake. The beauty of it is there's no perfect way. So what I'm saying by that is I could have 15 people do this valve adjustment on this engine for me, and all 15 people are going to have a little different feel when they put their feeler gauge in. It's all an opinion. When you pull it out, you obviously don't want to be pulling out with a pair of pliers because then you're compressing the valve springs down. But on the other hand, you don't want it so you can just flap it around in there. So that's what I'm getting at. No one's right, no one's wrong, just as long as it works, right? So we got that. That's what I'm working on right now, is I'm building the Series 60 for a truck, and then I'm bouncing back and forth between that and this right here. This is a Cat 15 liter twin turbo. Now what's wrong with it is cylinder 4, which is this guy right here, was mixing coolant into the oil. Not a huge deal. Truck ran a little too hot, didn't cool off, and I'm guessing and hoping that all it did was cook the O-rings off of the sleeves. So tomorrow morning I'm going to be pulling those here at the shop and then jumping between there and that Detroit right there. What I got tomorrow is start assembly on the front cover, accessory drives, things like that. And I got to pull the oil cooler off and rebuild, re-O-ring everything that goes to the block, because it just goes in with like a O-ring fitting, and it's got bolts up on the tops and the sides, so that way it can hold it to the block. Then over here we got Jimmy's pride and joy. If he'd stop ramming that cart around with his stupid wheels. So any moment here we're gonna lift that off. Here's our wonderful system for lifting cabs. We found works pretty good. Just a piece of 4x6 box tubing that's, I don't know, 10 feet too long, and we just put it on a fork truck with a strap going down to the other end to keep it so the front doesn't bounce on us like that. And then we just hook 2-inch straps up over the top to the front of the cab. So I guess now we're gonna do that, and that cab's coming off right there. He needs to set that aside for the winter. We got to pull some more parts off it. The electronics for the door to make the windows go up and down. We're going to save that, and then he wants to save the cab lights because the new truck has no cab lights. So all we're going to do is just cut out the roof in that section so we can lay it over the new cab and just make a template so we can cut the holes and mount the lights back where they were originally. Alright, now we're going to start lifting the cab. Anyone, right there is good. If anyone wants to buy a mint cab with old school floor air conditioning, hit me up on here. Leave a comment and let Jimmy know. He'll let you come get it for like free fitty. All right, so cab's off, frame's exposed. Here we have Jimmy with his frame that actually surprised both of us pretty well. As you can see, it's pretty cherry. It's not all too bad. For a truck that was on a farm and spent its whole life in the winters up here in New York, it's actually in really good shape. Like right here, we even got some original frame chassis paint.
Yeah,
what?
It was a plow truck too, at one point.
Oh, it was a plow truck?
Yeah,
Alright, so here you go. I guess a little bit of maintenance and care goes a long ways. Seeing as how it's been a plow truck, it's been in New York its whole life, and it's been in the salt and the weather, it actually looks pretty decent. So now we're going to just needle scale the top of the frame quick and here with a coat of paint. And while I'm doing that, Jimmy's going to start changing this front strap here. Take advantage of having this off. I mean, the tank strap doesn't look all too bad, but he already owns a new one, so I guess the intelligent thing to do would be just change it now with the cabs off. Alright, we'll check back in a minute when we get this done and show you what we got, and then we'll go from there. And here we are now. We have the top of the frame rail painted where we can't get to. Once the cab's sitting down, don't mind the runs. We'll clean up that on the sides and the bottom. Got a brand new tank strapped in, new hardware, and she's looking good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pick up some tools and just set the new cab on here in a minute. So I'll put the camera back out and we're setting the cab down. Hopefully it goes pretty smooth. Who knows? It could be a little harder putting it down on the mounts than it was taking it off. But alright, start the camera up in a little while. Alright, now here we are. Got the new cab rigged up again. Gonna set her on the new, back on the chassis. So alright, we'll get this one going. Do a little fast forward action again for you. Alright, so cab's on. If Jimmy would get back over here, we'll let him put the last cab bolt in, seeing as how this is his baby. Get over here, put this last bolt in. Right rear. He get his last cab mount bolt down in. And then there she is. Alright, so there you go. All this is proving, the whole point of doing this is, one, Jimmy's cab was junk, and two, it just shows with a little time and effort and patience, and not the most advanced equipment. I mean, we're just using a fork truck and a piece of steel. I mean, you could probably do it with a tree limb in your yard if it was big enough, and some straps and a come along or something. Alright, so there you go. There's other people doing this crazy stuff on YouTube too. All we're doing is just proving that you can do this. It's not hard. Just take your time, work your way through your projects, but do a little walk around quick. Look at that bad boy. She looks like a truck again. But there it is. Nothing hard, nothing fancy. Little time, little patience. Not a whole lot of money. I mean, at this point, I think Jimmy's in this like 600 bucks this cab, and that's not counting the body panels that are sitting at his house that I got to put in for him yet. But we'll do a little talk about this. The grand scheme of things are, because these doors, these back doors are so hard to find, is we're not actually going to fix the door to open again. I'm going to reskin this, do all this, do his rocker where the outer skin and the cab corner are all junk, and then I'm just going to come in here behind the door right in here and weld down to the rocker, the top of the rocker where the original rear door latch is, which is right there. And I'm just going to take these doors and make them so they don't open. And then on the inside, all we're going to do is just get some pieces of aluminum and make them inner door panels. I mean, we can do it with our fancy air cutters, or we can just do it with a pair of tin snips. So there's not a ton of hard work. Well, I shouldn't say it's not a ton of hard work. It's a ton of work, but just not super hard. But yeah, there we are. So the next video you'll see is when we get this unloaded at his house and we are putting the ramps back on the trailer and heading back to my town and where I live. So, alright, till that time. Alright, and just like that, we're back here at Jimmy's. As you can see, no more dually on the trailer. There's the third gen. There's Jimmy. We got the dually back, got the cab bolted down. Just dragged it off the trailer with his truck, and we're calling it a night so I can go home and edit this up. So, alright, Kenny, this one's for you. We promised it to you. Alright, take it easy.